for Slythering-in. I am Symtherin. Welcome back to my channel and to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today is a bit of a large build. I wasn't planning on it to be this large, but then I was able to fit like 4 bedrooms. So yeah, isn't that crazy? That's crazy for like a builder like me who tries to keep things a little small. This is also my second attempt at this build with a theme in mind, and that theme is grandparents. So I was looking at the calendar when I was trying to figure out, my plans for September and what builds to put where and get some ideas and things. Good old planning, boring stuff. But I noticed that September 10th is Grandparents' Day. And I was like, oh, how cute would it be to build like a little grandparents' home? And yeah, so that's why we're here in San Sequoia, which is the world that came with Growing Together. The big family gameplay, centralized pack, words, it's been a long week for me, guys, as it usually is. But we are in San Sequoia, and I felt like it was perfect just because the world here is very family focused, and I thought it would be cute. But I guess this is more of like a generations home, even though I did not put any like cribs or bassinets or toddler infant things. But if you are looking for a generations home to play with, this could also work. You just might have to, change up some of the rooms, maybe add a few items here and there. The good thing is I did not clutter it too much. I tried to keep it pretty simple. I figured like grandparents' homes are relatively clean, at least in my experience with my grandparents. Their homes were very, very clean, which I don't understand why, because there were a lot of us. Like, I have a ton of cousins. I mean, my grandparents themselves, at least on my dad's side, he's one of like 5 children. Just a huge family. I don't understand how they did it. I can barely deal with 2 dogs and a cat sometimes, let alone 5 whole children. My mom makes fun of me all the time for that. She says, what are you gonna do? You don't even have energy to take care of the dogs all the time. What are you gonna do when you have kids, if you ever have kids? And I'm like, pray that they're docile and not crazy, I guess. But that's neither here nor there. The shape of this house is coming along. I think this is pretty much it. We're making this little driveway spot here with a roof piece because, cars, we don't have them. So you gotta get a little creative sometimes, and the terrain tool was not my friend for this build. I just didn't like how it looked, and then we just jumped a bunch, and I'm sorry, because we're gonna jump again because I did not like this landscaping, and I ended up just hitting like stop record so that I can take a break and like figure out what I wanted. So we're gonna jump into the interior pretty soon, but for the most part, this is what the exterior does look like, minus maybe some of the landscaping. I really leaned into the greens and pinks out here, mostly because I fell in love with those columns from Cottage Living. I was trying to go for more of like a San Sequoia vibe, like the Craftsman house, but I wasn't really feeling it for like a grandparents vibe, so it is what it is, I guess. But we definitely have all the green accents on the windows, the shutters, plus the pink bushes and flowers and things. I felt like that was fun contrast. Green and pink is a pretty common color for me to really like, or color combo to work with, so we have that. Here in the garage, because we don't have cars, I decided to make sure there was like some laundry in here, so you have that bit of gameplay if you choose to do so. Although if you have a full household, like by full household I mean 8 Sims, which you can definitely fit in this house, that's a lot of laundry. You're gonna need like a live-in maid or butler or something if you want to make your life easier, unless you really like that challenge. I mean, cool, good for you. I don't know if I could do it. I've never tried, but I don't think I could do it. Anyway, you could definitely even throw a bed in this garage and make it kind of their live-in quarters or whatever you need to do to make it work, you know? Or there's an office upstairs, actually, now that I think about it, that you could turn into a tiny bedroom. It's a weird shaped room. That's why I felt like it fit an office. But yeah, here I wanted the laundry to look a little built-in because I was doing laundry the same day I was building this. And I wish my I wish my washer and dryer were more built-in. And I guess I could do it and like kind of DIY it. But that seems like a lot of work, especially like my boyfriend and I have so many DIY projects we want to do in this house, even though we're renting it. But spoiler alert, our landlords are his parents, so we can kind of pretty much do what we want. So there's that, but his dad would probably help for the most part anyway. So it's not like we would be doing anything without their knowledge anyway. That was a lot of sharing, but here in the garage we also make sure we put like some clutter things like some bikes. I put up these gardening tools, shovels and truffles or whatnot. You can see the roof piece for the garage is moved out of the way. Every time I try to do something, even if it was like put up a wall on the other side of the house, the roof piece was like, see ya, I'm out. Even with the Better Build by mod from Twist and Mexi, where you can use the deletion protection option to kind of stop that from happening, it didn't help that. Anyway, but in that garage there was also a punching bag, and you can probably, I left the middle of it open because I imagine like a car would fit there ideally, but because it doesn't, if you wanted more like exercise equipment like a treadmill I thought about putting down, that would be the perfect space for it. Here we are working on the living room, and I wanted to make sure there was a little bit of a fireplace because how cozy is that, and bookshelves, which I don't think I keep those there. But I had to use this couch and bring in that kind of green tone from the exterior. And yeah, we're gonna work on the living room. It's kind of a funky layout too. It's a weird shape. A lot of the rooms in this place is kind of strangely shaped, but I like how the layout is as well. I'll explain as we go. We'll probably move on to it next, but when you enter the house from the garage, you walk literally straight into the kitchen, which has a little like breakfast table, I guess you can say, breakfast dining, whatever you call it, right? And then, but behind here next to the living room will be the formal dining room. And I almost put the kitchen on this weird bump out here that you could see, or you were able to see at the bottom of the screen. It was just a little squish, and I wanted a bigger kitchen because I imagined that the grandparents here, their kids are probably all moved out, and maybe they're pretty young grandparents, and that explains why like they can still manage to keep this big house. And maybe some of you can relate because my currently only living grandmother lives in a 2-bedroom apartment with her partner, and she complains about how difficult it is to keep things clean. And it's hard when you have like bad knees and so many other things going on. Her partner is like pretty much almost blind. But again, I feel like I'm sharing a lot. But anyway, I feel like as elders, you need to kind of downsize sometimes because it just doesn't become manageable anymore. And it is what it is. But I imagine these Sims are pretty healthy. Maybe they have like, maybe their kids come by and help clean, or maybe they all pitch in for maid service, and or maybe they do have a live-in butler because they are loaded. Who knows, you know? I mean, in The Sims, you can make it that way anyway because of cheat codes like Motherload and Rosebud and all the good stuff. But here we're in the kitchen. I changed up some of the wallpaper for that like checkered pattern, but it's pretty much, I feel like, the same color as the stripy wallpaper, which I felt like worked pretty well. But the kitchen, like I said, we don't clutter it up to my usual liking. I wanted to make it look kind of neater and not so chaotic. I imagine maybe when all their kids were still living here it was pretty chaotic, but I think they've got it to a good routine now and they're happy. But you may be wondering about the stairs and stuff, because I did think of it. When you're an elder sim, you might not want to walk up the stairs all the time to go to your bedroom. So the grandparents' bedroom is on the bottom floor here next to the kitchen, along with a bathroom right next door. But here I put some like wine racks. I don't have anywhere to, I should have added it to make the wine from, what did we get? That's from the Horse Ranch kit, right? Kit. It's not a kit. It was a whole freaking pack. For Horse Ranch, you can make your own wine, and maybe that's something that could actually fit in the garage. Maybe one of the grandparents is a wine connoisseur, you know, and they just always have wine on hand, or they make their own wine, or they used to make their own wine. I mean, sky's the limit, you know, get creative with it. Anyway, here's the little breakfast nook that I was talking about. We're adding some lighting. I think we get a clock. We get a clock here because my grandparents on my dad's side had a really nice clock in their dining room, which was off of the kitchen. And every hour, well, really every 15 minutes, it would like chime, and every hour it would like chime whatever hour it is. So if it's like 3 p.m., it's gonna chime 3 times. And while I can imagine it being annoying, well, I can say that it is annoying because when they passed, my parents took that clock. Well, I think me and my siblings made them take the clock. My mom didn't want it, but I felt like it was such an iconic staple of my grandparents' house that we kind of needed it. And it was kind of nice. It was annoying after a while, but you know, I felt like it helped, right? With the grieving process, and every hour you just hear the chime because now it's in the living room of our apartment, and it kind of just brings you back to some simpler times. But now I'm getting sappy, so let's talk about the build a little more. Here is the grandparents' bedroom. I definitely had to use this bed from Horse Ranch. I almost said Growing Together, but because it has that nice green swatch, so it kind of brings in the green from the exterior. It felt like very grandparenty vibe to me, especially this dresser from Cottage Living, the old mirror, and I put down one of the chairs from the Horse Ranch that has like the blanket covering on it, and it's the floral swatch. You'll see it pretty soon, but I felt like that corner came out super cute and super perfect for like, reading. And I put that book tray on the corner in the floor there, and now I'm wondering if I ever removed it. This is on the gallery, so if you find a book tray on the floor, I am so sorry. But if you are interested in downloading this build, it is no CC, but I did not limit any of my pack usage as I usually don't. So there's that, but there's a feature on the gallery where you can kind of click on the packs used and it'll show you exactly which items were used, so you can easily replace them if needed. But this is the dining room I was speaking about. It walks onto like a small porch. I literally use most of this lot for the house, so we don't have too much of a backyard or any yard space, but we have a small porch. There is a grill out there. There is a small table, and there are some planters. I think you may have peeked it while I'm spinning the camera around. So there's some gardening activities and stuff. I think I also put a easel up in the office, so there's plenty of different ways to kind of build skills, and there are tons of books in this house. So many books. Honestly, my dream house would probably have a lot more books. So there's this thing. I was trying to be funny or kind of cute and put like little placeholders for family photos, but I think I left them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I left them actually. I think I was having an issue filling them with pictures, but we did our best. Now to the second story. We have 3 bedrooms up here and an office, plus a little like seating space. So I imagine this is like, all these bedrooms are guest bedrooms for their kids, their grandchildren. Maybe they have siblings who come over or cousins, like all of the above. I know I have family members who, they're 2 people, but they live in houses with like 3 or 4 bedrooms so that they can, you know, invite people over to stay, especially because most of my family is in one part of the country, and then there's a few different people kind of scattered across. So it's very helpful. So maybe someone from Willow Creek is coming to stay with Grandma and Grandpa here in San Sequoia. It's possible. It can happen. Anyway, the first one was a double bedroom. So I figured that's where like the couples would be, like parents or maybe even older grandchildren who have special people in their lives. I'm sorry for that little bit of jingle jangle noise that you may have heard. That was one of the dogs deciding they had a little bit of a scratch that they had to take care of, and they were laying right here in the room. Yeah, I'm sorry. But anyway, here is the first like 2-person bedroom. Well, it wouldn't be the first 2-person bedroom. The other one could be, but separate beds, you know, 2 single beds in here so that like kids could stay over, grandchildren's perhaps. This one is pretty pink heavy, and then the other one is pretty blue heavy. If you kind of catch my drift, although I don't think colors really should stand for any kind of gender norms and whatnot, because there are no gender norms here. Nope. But it's also very fun to have a color theme and stuff in The Sims, especially pink and especially blue. So it kind of happens pretty naturally, I would say. Anyway, like I said, not too much clutter here. This one has a little bit more activity for kids. I think I put a dollhouse and some toys. So it has a little bit more clutter. But overall, your Sims would have pretty much everything they need. I tried to do something funny with these. I almost said bookshelves. These bookends, they're still not bookends. Night stands, night tables. You know, accent tables. I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's been a long day. But yeah, we definitely lean into the blues. We even bring in some of the greens and the yellows and shrink down this dollhouse, put a dresser up. Really pretty simple. And then I think that's it for the video. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the tour and the screenshots at the end. You'll see the bathrooms and the office and all that there. So yeah, do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!